Hello, and thank you for watching this presentation and for your interest in the Austin Avenue Bridges project. My name is Ray Miller. I'm the Director of Public Works for the City of Georgetown and the Project Manager for the Austin Avenue Bridges project. We originally planned to hold a public meeting or an open house in April, but due to the coronavirus and social distancing recommendations, we've now transitioned or shifted to this virtual presentation. Today, we're going to briefly share with you the review of the project history, details on the proposed improvements, and potential design concepts. And we will also share with you some details on the construction and then what will be our next steps. As you know, this area of Georgetown is visited and loved by many. The Austin Avenue Bridges project has been an important effort to the City of Georgetown for some time now. The project will preserve and rehabilitate the existing bridges and will bring great improvements and connections to our San Gabriel River Trail system and to the downtown for both pedestrians and for cyclists. Now I'm going to pass the presentation over to Erin Gray, one of our project team members. And again, thank you for watching this presentation.
Thank you, Ray. This is Erin Gray, and I've been leading community engagement for this project since 2016. I, along with the project team, led by the city's engineering consultant, Agira Fields, have had the pleasure of working with the community since the project started. The Austin Avenue bridges were constructed in 1940 with an expected service life of 50 to 75 years. As they have aged, they've experienced deterioration and after 80 years need significant maintenance. In 2007, the city took over maintenance of the bridge from TxDOT. In 2014, the city applied for and received $1.3 million in funding for bridge reconstruction from Campo. The city initiated a forensic evaluation of the bridges in 2015, which resulted in hiring our project team to evaluate options for solutions, recommend a preferred option, conduct an environmental study, and complete design for the bridges. This team began work on the study in 2016. The bridges have several deteriorating components and structural deficiencies. The existing roadway has narrow travel lanes and very narrow sidewalks that do not meet current design standards or ADA requirements. There are currently no connections for bicycles and pedestrians to the existing trail network. These deficiencies helped us define the purpose of the project. This project is following the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, which is required when there is federal or state funding. NEPA requires that several options or alternatives are evaluated and requires the opportunity for public comments. Through this process, we've had 4 public meetings and received more than 400 comments. In 1999, the bridges were eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. Because of this, the project meets the requirements of the National Historic Preservation Act. The formal process for Section 106 has been followed. This included coordinating with consulting parties, made up of 17 people that requested to be involved, as well as the Texas Historical Commission and State Historic Preservation Officer. In late 2019, the project received concurrence from the State Historic Preservation Officer that the preferred alternative had no adverse effects to historic properties. Next, we will look at how we arrived at a preferred alternative. We started with 12 preliminary alternatives. These ranged from doing nothing to converting to 2 bridges, each going one way, widening the existing bridge, rehabilitation, and a new pedestrian bridge. These were evaluated, and the alternatives that had more of an impact on historic properties or needed more right-of-way were removed from further consideration. That left 5 primary alternatives. We developed schematic designs for each of these primary alternatives and evaluated whether it met the purpose and the goals of the project, the environmental and historical impacts, the amount of right-of-way that would be needed, construction cost and impacts, and the estimated lifespan. All the alternatives were presented to the public for feedback. Alternative 6A, rehabilitating the bridges with a new pedestrian bridge on the east side, was the most supported by the public. After evaluating the technical aspects and hearing from the community, 6A was chosen as the best option to move forward. The improvements are to rehabilitate the existing bridges and maintain the railings, widen lanes to 11 feet, construct a new pedestrian bridge and a 10-foot sidewalk on the east side of Austin Avenue, construct a 6-foot sidewalk on the west of Austin Avenue at the intersections of San Gabriel Village and 2nd Street. This option will require a small amount of right-of-way on 2 corners, totaling approximately 0.003 acres. Dave Lupitz, our project engineer, will share a few more details on what the rehabilitation includes and a review of the schematic design.
Thank you, Erin. Just like lifting your car with jacks to replace its tires, the bridge will be lifted to replace its bearings. The beams and diaphragms will also be cleaned and repainted, and concrete damage will be repaired on the caps and the columns. The concrete deck will also be replaced during the rehab. Additionally, the existing rail will be maintained, and there will be an addition of a crash-tested rail to the bridge. Here's the overall schematic. I realize the details are tough to see in the video and encourage you to download the files from the project website. Downtown is to the left, and you can see the 2 bridges outlined in yellow over the south and north fork of the San Gabriel River. As we go to the close-ups, you'll see the pedestrian bridges are to the east of the existing facility and highlighted in pink with a blue outline. Additionally, the sidewalk improvements to the west are highlighted in pink only. As we take a closer look at the bridge over the South Fork, you can see that the sidewalks on the bridges will be removed. This is to accommodate widening the travel lanes to 11 feet and additionally having shoulders on the bridge without acquiring additional right-of-way. The new pedestrian bridge will be the designated river crossing for both pedestrians and cyclists. If you look to the east along 2nd Street, you can see that the trail connection to the South Fork, highlighted in light blue and outlined in pink, is off Main Street. The city plans to improve this connection in future projects. As we move toward San Gabriel Village Boulevard, you can see where small slivers of right-of-way will be acquired. This is needed to construct safe turning movements and tie in sidewalk. As we continue north along the pedestrian bridge, you can see that it connects directly to the existing trail along the North Fork of the river. The area highlighted in green next to the bridge as you approach the trail are retaining walls. Retaining walls will be constructed here to provide an ADA-compliant pedestrian path without acquiring additional right-of-way. In the next few slides, Erin will show you potential design features for the pedestrian bridge, for trail connections, and for retaining walls.
Thanks, Dave. This rendering and the photos that follow will give you an idea of what the project will look like. Here, we are looking north as you leave downtown. This illustration is showing the new sidewalk leading up to the new pedestrian bridge to the east of the existing bridge. These are a few examples of other pedestrian bridges. To the left is a local example at Scenic Drive between 15th and West University. To the right is an example at Walnut Creek Trail, and on the bottom is a pedestrian bridge at Baylor University near McLean Stadium in Waco. Here are a few examples of trail connections. One is near Mopac and Loop 360, and one at Walnut Creek Trail. The bottom photo illustrates an example of a trail connection with a retaining wall at the Hike and Bike Trail in downtown Austin. We'll show here designs that can be used on retaining walls. To take a closer look at these additional pictures, please visit the project website. Now, looking forward, our team will work to complete final design and prepare construction plans, obtain environmental clearance, and begin negotiations for the right-of-way acquisitions. This will be complete in 2021. Then we would need to secure all construction funding and hire a contractor. The very earliest construction could begin is in 2022. As more details are available, the city will continue to share information. Now I'm going to pass it back to Ray for more details on construction.
Thanks again, Erin. Construction for this project is anticipated to cost approximately $7 million. As we mentioned, we have secured $1.3 million from CAMPA. The city is working to identify additional funding. Some possible sources include TxDOT funds, which we are applying for, and city funds. The timeline for completing the bridge rehab and to construct the pedestrian bridge is approximately 24 months. This timeline is subject to change as construction could occur in phases. More details will be shared as construction is planned and scheduled. Access to surrounding properties will be maintained. At least one lane of traffic will be open in each direction. At times, pre-coordinated overnight closures of all lanes will be necessary to complete the bridge rehabilitation. However, advance notice will be provided. In addition, when construction activities are heaviest, we will do what we can to promote alternate routes to downtown and surrounding businesses. We plan to begin construction on the east side of the bridge. This means we would close the northbound lanes and shift all traffic to the west side, again with one lane open in each direction. The rehab will occur in sections, moving from one end to the other. Then once the east side is complete, work will begin on the west side. We will close the two southbound lanes and move traffic to the east side of the bridges with one lane open in each direction. We will be coordinating with businesses, affected property owners, and informing the public when more details are available. This concludes our project overview. We do want to remind you there are several options for submitting comments. You are welcome to share them by email, the online form, or mail, and the comment period will be open through June 12th. All contact information is available on the website, the same place you access this presentation, austinave.georgetown.org. We did receive 12 comments in response to our first notification. Thank you for sharing these. We have provided responses which are also available on the website. You're welcome to reach out to visit more about this project, send an email or give us a call to visit or to set up a web or teleconference. Thank you for your time. The city looks forward to making these improvements and appreciates all of your involvement.